Hello and welcome to Jeremy's Garden. I'm Jeremy. If you haven't done so already, get out, dig in, and feel your worries melt away. Now, yesterday it was melting at 105 degrees outside. Today, thankfully, it's only supposed to be in the high 90s, so not triple digits, but and right now I'm still early enough that it's not super warm. It's somewhere in the 80s. It was like 82 last I checked, but whew. Anyways, I just was shooting a little wrap-up video because the microphone kind of crashed out on the last video, a couple videos back actually, and I thought about adding what I'm about to do to that video, but then I decided, no, I'm just going to go ahead and do it as a separate video because it really could use a little bit more coverage, if you will. So anyway, I kind of wrapped it up, and that was before I am now shooting this video. So I am wearing the same attire as I closed out the other video in, but that's because I just did that about 10 minutes ago. So I am enjoying a little bit of raspberry fizzy water, which is very delicious. Hydrating and delicious. Hydrating is a good key thing for any type of summer months. So hopefully the microphone is right here. I have it behind. I took the fuzzy bit off of it and actually just stuffed it behind my shirt. And we'll see how that works. Hopefully it'll work pretty good. The biggest problem with it being on the neck per se was that if I twist it a lot, if I'm doing things, sometimes the mic will wander off to the side and cause volume disruptions. And in post-editing for the sound, it's kind of a pain in the butt to have to go and fix that and adjust it. Now, the tools these days in the software are pretty darn good, and they do make it pretty much for the most part, a point-and-click type option. But it takes time, and you also have to figure out what parts of the software actually allow you to do that type of stuff. But anyway, so I wanted to talk a little bit about seed collecting in its own episode. And I think because this is sort of the main seeds right now that I've been collecting, this will work out perfect as an example. Now, this is arugula, and arugula is a leaf lettuce, and this particular variety is called rocket, which is very delicious. If you pick the younger leaf off of it, it's a little sweeter, and if you pick the older ones, it's a little more bitter. So depending on your taste, or you could do a combination of both if you wanted to. But it's also a cooler weather crop. During the heat of the summer months, it will bolt, and it will bolt and go to seed. And that's what it does. It doesn't like the heat. So it's perfect for creating a harvest of seeds for next year's crop, but it's not conducive to having, a nice harvest of delicious leaf lettuce for your salads. So you're going to want to switch over to other things like butter crunch and what have you that will tolerate a little bit more heat. I don't want to clear my throat real loud, but I'm going to have to mute that in the post audio. I apologize. Anyways, collecting seeds for your own crops is not really that difficult. It's just kind of knowing when and how for a particular plant to collect the seeds. Now, when everything starts to bolt on my arugula, I know it's time to just pretty much give up on the arugula and say, okay, it's done for the arugula harvest. So I cut out for myself, I will leave 4 plants and I will let them bolt. And I will let them go to seed. And as you can see, they grow pretty tall. And like this, I actually had to support it with a cage in order to keep it from just flopping over. So I wanted it to be upright. And once the seeds started to turn brown, then you know that you can go ahead and harvest your seeds off the plant. And not directly off the plant right there. What you want to do is you'll take it, and then as in the previous video, I had it hanging. I just had it tied up with some twine and hanging so that the plant started to dry out. And then the seeds, once they begin to get mostly all brown, then it's time to take it down. And that usually only takes a couple of days. You don't want to wait too long because these seed pods will begin to break open and disperse the seeds upon the ground below wherever you have it hanging. And I'm sure there's a few that already have. Some of these are so delicate that they just break real easy as it is. But this is how easy it is. And you can make this hard and monotonous and make seed collecting something that sounds like something that I'm just going to go and buy them at the store because I don't want to have to deal with that. That sounds horrible. Collecting all these seeds? Are you crazy? No. It's actually pretty calming, relaxing, and therapeutic. And it's something that if you're just hanging out in your garden and you're enjoying the outside, you know, with either by yourself or with friends or family, and you're just hanging out, you can take a small bucket. This happens to be the paint buckets that I was pounded some holes in to turn into actual plant pots. So this one, I haven't put any plants in it yet, and it happened to be sitting nearby. So I just take a little pair of snips and cut the seed pods themselves off right into the pot. And then below me, under the table, I have a little catch-all little bucket. I can throw that bit away. And while I'm hanging out, either by myself or with friends or family, or like I am with you right now, I can collect some of these seed pods and have a conversation and just enjoy life. And we can sweep that ant off the table because we don't need the ant on the table. And you don't have to do this whole thing all at once. I can sit out here and I can decide in 10 minutes from now or 5 minutes from now or 30 seconds from now or an hour from now that I'm done and I don't want to do anymore. So don't do it to make until it's tedious. Just do it and enjoy that you're doing it. And, maybe, you'll have a family member or friend if you're hanging out with them that might also just find it equally therapeutic and just kind of sit and discuss and enjoy a beverage. And sit and talk and enjoy life, enjoy nature. And then when you're done, almost everybody probably has some, I mean, almost everybody has some supermarket bags from groceries that are laying around in their house because we got a million of them. So you can just take and you can cut off a bunch of these and then you can stuff them into that bag and set them off to the side. And then tomorrow, 2 days from now, next week, when you're just hanging out and enjoying, you can pull that bag out and you can cut off a little bit, snip some more into your catch bucket, and do it at the pace that you feel that you want to do it at. You don't need to do it all because then, yes, it's going to be tedious, but it doesn't have to be. And people that grow things from seed, pretty much unanimously, are like, whether it's a edible food crop or just, something ornamental flower, some ornamental flower or bush, growing it from seed, you have, it's so much more enjoyable. And I guarantee that it's even more enjoyable when the seeds that you grew that plant from are grown from seeds that you harvested. I mean, it adds to that. It adds to everything. Now, you're going to have a friend or family member that doesn't really see quite, grasp that, why this would be enjoyable. And, that's fine. Each their own. But like these here, produces me way more seed than I need for myself personally. So I have friends and family that I can give arugula seeds to that don't particularly, do it themselves. And they now have some seeds that they can feed themselves, in this case, as arugula, or if it's just more of an ornamental, such as these purple allium. These are purple globe alliums, and I just have them kind of, a few of the heads cut up into the buckets right here. But at a later point, I will go through and I will break these up and I will collect the individual seeds. I have a few individual seeds that have actually broken from some of the pods that have split open here on the table. But I'll brush those up and try to collect them. And then when I go through later, after this is done, I can just go through and I can take another pot or bowl or something, and I can collect these out and I can break them and get the seeds and extract them into another container where it's literally just a bunch of seeds. And then you can label it and put a date on it for, what year they came from, because seeds do go down in quality over the longer you keep them. Now, if you keep them cool and in like a cool, dark space, then they'll last a lot longer. Like the World Seed Bank is in the side of the mountain, way up in the Alps. Up in the Alps, I believe. Boy, I hope I'm not misquoting that. Anyways, it's way up there at a nice high elevation where it's nice and cool, and they're kept dark, and that way they can keep them longer. And but yeah, so collect your own seeds. I mean, it's really easy, and it's not daunting at all. And I bet you'll find that some of your friends or family, as you're hanging out, will gladly help you do a little bit. So, I mean, if it's just 5 minutes here and there, cool. No big deal. It's enjoyable. You get it. It's done. And yeah, I mean, your friends can come over. Invite your friends over for a nice meal, a barbecue, and hang out and enjoy life. And then afterwards, as you're sitting around visiting, you can kind of work on some of these, and then they can take the seeds home for themselves. And who knows, maybe next year they'll be inviting you to a barbecue to hang out, to have fun and visit and collect a few seeds from their garden. Circle of life. All right. Love you all for watching. Click that like button, hit subscribe, leave a comment, stick around. Things are going to get so much better. And yeah, I'm Jeremy, and this is my garden.